Alright, come on in, sit yourself down, get nice and comfy. Hello, bet you didn't think you'd be seeing me anytime soon, did you? Well, the good thing is I got a new belt and I'm here to show it off today. Now, this belt is one that I've always loved and I was really excited to get this belt, but then was also a little bit let down once I received it as well. Now, I will be sending this video to the maker of this belt. I'm not going to put the maker's name out there and, kind of name and shame them or anything like that, because I don't feel it's my place to do something like that. I'm not going to tarnish someone's name and ruin their, reputable business and potentially make them lose customers just because I wasn't 100% satisfied with this belt, especially when they are, kind of a well-known name in this hobby and don't deserve to be, dragged through the mud in any way. But yeah, I will be sending this video to them just so they know that I wasn't necessarily 100% happy, but still I got a good display piece, but things could have just been done a little bit better. Now, the belt in question is the TNA X-Division Championship, the Dave Milliken X-Division Championship. I've always been a massive fan of this championship right here, and this particular one, is it a great showpiece? Yes. Are there some issues with it? Also, yes. But let's just do a bit of an overview of the belt first and, really show you what this thing has to offer. So obviously a dual-plated belt. You've got the gold bordering around the outside, all the other gold pieces throughout there, and then the nickel plating around throughout the, main detailing of the plate. And then the red painting for the X Division logo, the TNA logo as well, and a bit of black through the champion banner here and the division banner too, which is a really nice touch. It gives a lot of depth to this belt, which I really quite like. And then if we shuffle it over to the side plates here, the same on both sides, so I'll only really show you one of these ones, but you got the TNA logo in the middle there. You've got the outlining of the six-sided ring, which was always one of my favorite parts of this belt. Same thing kind of on the main plate as well, with the six-sided ring bordering on the outside there too. But the fact that they were able to incorporate that into both the main plate and the side plates, I think is a really nice touch. Also with the leather work, how it tapers off here and then tapers off again into this section through here. It's all really nicely done. It's a very well designed belt, originally from Dave Milliken, of course. We move on down to the snap boxes. This side here, of course, is the 2x5 with the belt tip on the end, a one-piece tip, which is always a nice touch. If I actually put it in frame there, can you tell I'm out of practice with all this stuff? Pretty much. But yeah, really nice touch having the one-piece tip on the end. And if we slide on down the other end without breaking everything on my desk, we've got the 2x8 at this end as well. And no, of course, belt tip on this end. Usually there's a signature there from most belt makers, but this time around, this belt maker hasn't left a signature. And if they did, it would kind of give away who I'm not 100% satisfied with. So it's probably a good thing that they haven't put their signature there, because I don't want to be, as I said, a bit of a name and shame type of person. But, is this belt a good showpiece? Yes. Are there some issues with it? As I said, also, yes. Let's go into these now without being, I guess, too brutal, but, there's a little bit of annoyance there, I suppose. The first one, and this is a very minor one compared to the rest of them, this TNA and X Division paintwork on all other belts that I have, including the other bootleg that I have made by Ali and Us at Altair Belts, which is the World Television Championship that I've shown on this channel before. Great belt by Ali and Us. It's all a very much shiny based paint, whereas this one is very much a matte finish. So there's no real shine on the paint other than, bits of the metal underneath, I guess, coming through, pulling a lot of the shine for this belt itself. It just seems kind of weird that we've got matte finish paint on a shiny belt, I suppose you'd say. So that's a little bit weird to me. Next up, if I scooch on down this end, you'll probably see fairly straight away that some of these snaps are extremely dirty. We've got this one here, this one here, this one here, these ones, this one on the end here. Probably these two, I would say, are in the worst shape. Probably that one there matches as well. But yeah, they're not in overly great shape. And when we move down to the other end, you know, let's scooch along again and make a whole bunch of noise as I do so. But, you know, these guys as well, there's a fair bit of just, I don't know what you'd call that, scratching or discoloration on those there, and it doesn't really present them in the best light. But I think the one that really gets me the most, obviously I said that the one-piece tip is a great thing to have, right? But then when I turn it over here, and I'll get you real in close on that there, it's got a lot of things going wrong with the paintwork. I feel like this belt has been really kind of rushed, and, you know, not that it's in bad shape, I guess you'd say, but for the amount of money that you pay for these belts, you want them to be in relatively nice condition, especially when they're supposed to be arriving to you brand new. And, you know, Australian dollars, I paid around $650 for this championship, and it's arrived to me in this fashion with already marks and blemishes and all that kind of stuff on there. But I suppose I should flip this guy over and show you the back. So let's get that happening here. Flip her on over, get her centered in the middle. There we go. Now you'll see two little divots right here. That is not on the maker. That is solely on me and the stand that I actually have this belt sitting on, that's just kind of digging into the back a little bit there. But all the, you know, the screws and everything, all nicely covered. Always good to see a center bolt on the plates as well, because when you got the center bolt there, it just keeps everything on a lot nicer. You've got the snaps at the end uncovered there, at the back end of the tip obviously as well. But yeah, all in all, a well put together belt. Even, I don't know, this particular, you know, snap area or the bolt area here, and these two on each end, again, it's kind of one of those things where it hasn't been stuck on the best, but that's a very minor complaint about this one. It's more the other things that I have kind of an issue with. But yeah, all in all, what would I give this belt on a score out of 10? I'd be looking at around probably a 7.5. And the blemishes and things, of course, bring it down. The design of the championship itself elevates it up, because I've always loved this championship. But have they done a good job? Yes. Is it as good a job as they could have done? I don't think so. But as far as a display piece is concerned, it's still, you know, it's still a pretty good belt. I can't fault it as far as a display piece, but for something you actually want to hold and handle a little bit and, you know, enjoy just grabbing off the shelf every now and then and throwing over your shoulder, it's one of those things that every time you grab it, you see the blemishes and you just go, oh yeah, that could have been a little bit better, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But then you spent the money on it, so you want it to be nice, but it is what it is. So once again, X-Division Championship by a belt maker who will not be named at this stage, because I don't want to tarnish their name and the good reputation that they have. All in all, as I said, great belt, 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Great display piece. As far as, you know, the finer details, maybe could have just been done and finished off just a little bit better, especially, once again, just those snaps. Like, look at those guys. They're, I don't know. Yeah, could have just been done a little bit better. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it there, but thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate you coming on back and seeing this one. And yeah, hopefully there'll be more in the future. We'll see what happens, but, you know, I'll catch you in the next one.